of TCK News. Gameaholic would have been here, but unfortunately I got here a little late. So this one goes out to you, buddy. Well, we know it's been a long time since we brought you guys an episode, but we thought it'd be time for us to bring you guys a little variety in the lineup, if that makes any sense. So for today, we're just gonna pretty much kind of do a general assessment of all the other games and kind of just keep it simple with the usual Halo topics. First thing first, we're going to go ahead and recognize Clash of Clans. Clash of Clans seems to be doing amazing right now. We do want to give a shout out to Dim Dog. Dim Dog is actually recognizing few members as potential leaders on that game, so hopefully soon we will have a few outpost leaders in TCK, and we're looking forward to working with them. In addition to that game, we also have things going on with our Summoner Wars. Of course, I'm gonna take a personal little few seconds to give a shout out to all of the members who make that game so successful. I know it's definitely a little something different, but we do encourage as many TCK members as possible to download some of our TCK games and check them out. Seriously. Speaking of which, we have a new game in TCK. Um, I really wish Gameaholic was here. I think it's called Big Head Football. It's a soccer game with big heads and little bodies and little feet. Don't ask. It's a pretty fun game. I think that some members will actually get a good kick out of it. If you like football and it's your type of thing, then please check it out. For more information, please tune in next weekend. We'll have Gameaholic here to give the actual name for us. And we will also like to go ahead and recognize the members that are keeping Gems of War popping. Now, Gems of War is a very fun game. It's a small file, so if you're looking for something to do outside of the usual killing lines, then we always recommend that you check out Gems of War. It's a simple match style game. You can play a few hours and not even realize that you just wasted a whole afternoon. But with that all being said, now let's go ahead and switch on over to Halo. Now, first thing first, for all of our Halo staff, we'd like to go ahead and recognize our TCK 2019 President, TCK Dirty Dan, the 2019 Vice President, Mr. Zanzarox, and next we would like to actually recognize all of our white shoulders. In this in particular case, I would like to give a shout out to Lone Wolf, representing the House of Watcher, TCK A-Law, representing the House of Guardian, Rana Rage, representing the House of Infantry, and Crazy Bears, representing the House of Stealth. These are the four white shoulders who are representing the family this year around. We do want to actually take a few moments to recognize all you guys and let you guys know that TCK really appreciate all your time, and it would not be the same without you. Now, beneath that level, we would also like to recognize the gray shoulder for this year. We have Shahufa. As you guys know, he was last year's vice president, still holds a very high title, and he's actually in charge of the House of Guardian right now. We also have an Army of Kill and Ninja Nick, both holding down Congress members' positions in the House of Stealth. So this is your presidential staff lineup. Some of these people that I mentioned are not exactly in the staff, but they do have respected positions as far as the family is concerned. We do wish that all members of TCK do the best they can to, whenever you guys see these members, definitely take some time to congratulate them and thank them for all they do for TCK. A lot of you guys may not see it as a sacrifice, but a lot of what these guys do is truly a sacrifice. And it's not done simply for their own best interest, but it's literally done for the best interest of all of TCK. So, on behalf of all the members who will not address these white shoulders over the next coming days, I will personally like to be the first one to say thank you to everyone I just mentioned for your service to the family. Next, we would also like to talk about Green Shield. Now, we do recognize that getting into TCK can be a very daunting challenge. It's not exactly designed to be a cakewalk. Um, I don't know if you guys thought we were just gonna put some paper cups up on the fence and just ask you to go over there and knock them down with with the 2x4. But to us, that does not demonstrate your skill. The TCK tryout is designed for a magnitude of effects to take place all at the same time. Some of them being symbolic on our part, all of them being symbolic on your part as the individual candidate who's wishing to seek admission to the family. It's very important that you remember that when you first got into TCK, it wasn't very much at all. By the time you got to level 2, we expected you to know a few things. But by the time you pass level 3 and actually truly adorn that member uniform, we're expecting you to not only know the traditions of the family, but to be able to survive and protect the name of the family on the battlefield, which is not always easy. Believe me, I fight right next to you guys, I know. So, as the upcoming days come and turn into weeks, we just want all members of TCK to remember that once upon a time, you was once that individual taking a tryout, and these guys are all nervous as crap. So, if you guys can just remember your own form of humility while giving a tryout to someone else, it'll definitely mean the world to not only Black Shield, but to every other commander in TCK who's not able or who are able to be a part of that tryout. Because let's just be honest, you guys, and let's face it, TCK wants new members. We love you guys. We encourage new members. It's not our job to keep you out, but it is your job to be pretty much good enough to make it in and stay with us. So, best of luck to all of the potential new tryouts, our new potential members of TCK. We wish you all nothing but the best. But at this in particular point in time, we would like to take a few moments to actually recognize a few of the individuals who actually did succeed the Green Show process. First, I would like to recognize Ren L. Banshee. Now, Ren L. Banshee passed a tryout with a score of 16. Next, we would like to recognize the Servant of I Am. I like that name, by the way. Now, Servant of I Am passed with 17 tryouts. Next, we would like to recognize EMIG23. They passed with a score of 17 as well. Next, we would like to recognize Selected One. Selected One, congratulations, you passed with a score of 17 as well. In addition, we would like to also recognize Football Runner, passing with the score of 15. In addition to him, we would like to recognize Little Teddy. Now, for some reason, we all thought his name was Little Daddy, but we ain't going to talk about all that. Passed with a score of 15. And just going ahead and check back just a hair further just to make sure. Because I remember when you guys first joined TCK. Alright. And so, as of now, those are all the members that we would like to recognize. So, thank you guys for all you have done for TCK. Thank you guys for making it into the family. If you need help passing your tryout, talk to some of these new guys who just passed theirs. Okay, so here's a little something new that we don't usually get a chance to do very often for the family, but we're actually going to talk about some of the higher aspects to TCK's leadership. Some of you members, some have been asking questions such as how come and why do certain things happen the way they do in the family. So I figured now is a great time to actually kind of go over certain small topics. We're not going to take all day and go over everything in grave detail, but this will be a great little start for us to kind of, have time to expand upon. At least give us some chances to expand upon these type of topics. So, the first thing that we're going to talk about well, today's topic, should I say, is going to be coming directly out of 2018 to 2019 bylaws for TCK on Halo. Okay, here. Now, one thing I want to recognize before we even get into the bylaws is what are the bylaws? Very simple. In TCK and in every well governed community, you are recognized by having one, a code of law. Now, the code of law is actually the most useful thing because this pretty much shows all of the community, not just one jurisdiction of it, but all of it, how things are to be and how things are set up, why they're set up the way they're set up. Now, in a code of law, you can pretty much think of that as federal law if you're in America. These are the laws that are issued down to ensure fairness and continuity and to keep the general outline of what TCK is expected to be in due bounds with itself. Now, by keeping TCK in due bounds with itself, you sit down. I'm not even playing with you. I'm not even playing with you. By you sitting down in due bounds, excuse me, by you being with, oh, I am sorry. I'm pointing a gun at you at home. I am so sorry. So sorry. But with TCK being in due bounds with itself, we do find that one, it is much harder for anyone to change things that are not necessary to change on a level that pretty much must not conflict or confide with another level. So, if anyone ever has any bills or any amendments that you guys would like to bring to the table, then recognizing the code of law and bylaws will be very useful to you. The code of law is going to really give you an outline of how things are in all of TCK. But the bylaws themselves are a simplified reflection. I'm going to say that again. They're a simplified reflection of the bylaw, excuse me, of the code of law, and it's modified ever so slightly to strictly follow Halo's jurisprudence. Now, keep in mind that all of TCK is pretty much beneath Halo. All the other games we mentioned before come after Halo. This will always be our capital game. So even our bylaws, to a certain degree, have a small form of reflection on every other game. But every other game that we do proceed with, they are all in due bounds with the code of law. So as for today, I don't really want to talk about too many things, but I did want to talk about conferences. TCK is actually about to be going through its first quarter conference for 2019. It starts on March 17th and goes to the end of March. The mid-year conference will start on June 17th and go through the end of June. The third quarter conference will start on September 17th and go through the end of September. And finally, we have our end of the year conference, which starts on December 17th, at which point in time a new president is elected, or excuse me, selected. Well, you guys know what I mean. And all of the final laws are pretty much stamped on for the rest of the year, and 2020 staff would pretty much have a nice little place to start with. So, at this in particular point in time, if you as a member think that you recognize any kind of changes that could happen in TCK, we do want to hear from you. We do. But in order for us to actually take your opinion and note it, we ask that you take time to talk to your higher commanders. If your gold crown does not have the answer, talk to your white shields. If you're in a lower house, your house white shielders may not have the answers, but we do expect your higher house white shielders to maintain those answers. Then again, if you're in a higher house and you don't have those answers, we expect your lower house white shielders to have those answers. Long story short, we expect the white shield staff to be just as knowledgeable as the one standing next to them. So if for some odd reason, White Shields, you guys are having a hard time helping a member or another commander with any kind of bills they would like to pass, don't forget your president and vice president are always happy to make your acquaintance. They're always happy to talk to you guys. So if for some odd reason you guys have any bills that you guys think should be submitted to the family, we have about 17 days and we will love to hear your guys' recommendations. All right. So I do hope that kind of gave you guys a little clarity for the family, a little bit of understanding about how things work in TCK. As the shows go on, we'll definitely go a lot more in greater detail about how TCK governs itself, but we'll pretty much take it baby steps at a time. So that's it. Um, as of now, if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, please seek out your house commanders. If they're unable to help you, as I said, seek out your white shoulders and so on and so forth. But until then, I think we're gonna go find Gameaholic. So let me see what I got down here. I got some duct tape, some bubble gum. Ooh, a lighter. And what's that? I think that's a dead rat right there. All right, we're gonna pick all this stuff up and we're gonna go find Gameaholic at the zoo. See you guys later, you guys.